everyone, and welcome to the 51st episode of Sonic Talk. I am your host, as always, Jason Berry, and with me tonight is GX Akina. Say hi, GX.
Hi, GX.
And down here,
Seriously?
still too shy to show a video of himself, is Alex Peel.
We made it to 51, yeah!
We are officially over the hill.
Yeah, man, I remember like 5 or 6 years ago or whatever when I really didn't want to do this. And then we did it, and my feelings haven't really changed that much, but I'm still here, I guess.
Yeah. Anyway,
Congratulations, Jason.
let's get cut to the chase here. Oh my God, GX will not stop waving. I keep waiting for him to stop.
Why are you waving?
It's like the Beverly Hillbillies where the grandma's waving at the end and finally she just has to hold on to her arm because she's so tired from waving and just keeps going. That is such an old reference.
Yes, I'm a little surprised. I realize it's been in syndication, but I'm still surprised that Chris is aware of this. I mean, I wasn't. I've heard of it.
I don't think it is. I think Robo Chris has broken.
He's not a robot. I mean, I realize there's an uncanny valley to Chris, but I know for a fact he isn't a robot. Like he expresses himself too effectively.
10 initialized wave, 20 go to 10, and now it's stuck in the permanent wave.
I don't know what you're referencing now either.
Basic programming.
Well, I don't know anything about programming.
Okay.
I'm an idiot.
All right. Well, first off is what you've been playing.
I want to see how long you guys could string that out without just moving on.
I just want to get the show over with already, Chris. I don't got time for your nonsense.
Anyway, the first up, I did get Sea of Thieves this week. This is one I've actually been excited to try out because originally I gave my original Xbox to my brother for Christmas. I had not been playing anything on Xbox One in about a year outside of, I think, Super Lucky's Tale because that one looked really cute, so I kind of wanted to play that. And then I heard beta impressions of this, and everybody was just absolutely in love with it. They seemed like they were really wanting to try it out. So I was like, well, if I got a ton of PS4 games right now, and I had a bonus come in on my check, so I thought, okay, I'll just buy X Plus Game Pass, that new feature where they're putting in the day one Microsoft games onto the Game Pass. And for $10 a month, it's a great service. It really is. So, and actually, my guy actually kind of looks like that. He really does look a lot like that.
He managed to make a generic pirate then, huh?
Yeah. Well, my favorite joke is that little eye patch. You can buy it for $1 gold, and it's the day one patch. Really.
They made a pun because they sure are still rare.
If I ever do play this game, my pirate's going to be so fat. Can you make a fat pirate?
Before I mention the game, I will say that I got the bonus check. I went down to GameStop because they said they had a 1 terabyte Xbox One S used. They looked all over it was like $249. They looked all over, they couldn't find it, so I was going to go with a new one for $299. And they said, well, if you want, we have a 2 terabyte one, and I found out those are actually very rare for $299. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll take that because that is that now my Xbox One is like my digital console, or I'm making my digital purchases because I'm going to have just that much space.
You lucky bastard.
Even on my PS4 right now, I'm cleaning the closet constantly. I'm having to clean the fridge, as they say, and move stuff around so I can download stuff. So that's nice. And now I could just download like some junk games that I might not want to play right away, but I'll be able to eventually play later. So
that's basically what my Xbox One has right now.
Yeah, now my Xbox One is getting a lot more play than it used to. But on to Sea of Thieves, which is available from Game Pass. Another nice feature is I could also, since I have Game Pass and my Xbox account tied up to Windows 10, I can download the game onto PC and play it through there as well without any extra. Chris mentioned last month that I don't really describe the games as well when I start talking about them. So I think I'm going to start with this. Sea of Thieves is, for those who haven't played it, is a first-person MMO. Not an RPG, but
first person.
Yeah,
first person.
MMO.
I thought it was third person.
No, it's not third person. You're in third person.
Sorry.
Through the entire thing. Basically, it's like massive multiplayer, but it's not really an RPG. You can either play solo with a small ship and go from island to island, or you could play with a large crew. Which, if you've got my microphone's over there, but if you've got a nice Xbox One microphone to communicate with others, it's great. Last two online sessions I did with others, they didn't have a mic, and they were just either doing little dances or they were going by one-word communication, which was working out for a little bit. Like they were going, okay, go south, go east. But basically, what you do in the game is you are a pirate. You can go down to this guy called the Gold Hoarder, who gives you assignments for finding treasure. And you get a map. You look at the map from the island. You look at your larger charter map that's on your ship and find out where the island is. And, I mean, everything in this is very manual. Then once you figure that out, you get up, you set sail, and you steer your way to that island. And basically, you can either there's several different kinds of quests. Treasure hunting is the most basic and most often, which is you just get a map of the next marks the spot, and you go do that. I have one right now where I have to hunt down 2 chickens off of different islands to go give them, and they give you gold for that. There's ones where you have to solve riddles to where treasure's location is. And there's some others.
How do you feel about the variety of missions in the game itself?
That's the main problem. Is it's kind of shallow. You are basically it's doing a fetch quest. You and your crew, you're going to the outpost. They give you a quest. You go down to the island. You do the quest. You come back. You get your gold. They send you on another quest, and so on and so forth. I mean, there's variety in the quests, but there's not that much. And there's not the problem. My biggest problem with the game right now is there's not that what do they call that? A carrot on a stick thing where you feel like you're leveling up and getting towards something bigger. Your pirate doesn't level up; his status levels up, so it opens up more complicated quests. And your gold can basically everything else is just cosmetic. You can use your gold to upgrade your ship and make it look nicer, or you can use it on yourself and have nicer outfits for your character. The problem with that is it's a first-person game the entire time, so you cannot see yourself. And the only time you can see yourself is when you're first logging in, and you're usually holding up a drink and going, "Yay!" That's the only time you can really see yourself.
Overwatch is a little bit of the same. Like you still have opportunities to see yourself in that game, but broadly speaking, because that one is also first person, it kind of.
Yeah, the only thing good about dressing yourself is your status towards how others can see you in the game.
Yeah.
The best parts is basically when you're playing solo, it's kind of dull. The best thing to do is play multiplayer, play with others. Then you get onto a galleon, which is a very big ship, and so when you have a big crew with you, if you see others online, they can attack you. You can set up your cannons and fire back at them and damage their ship. You can jump on board their ship if they have treasure they've been hunting and they are on their way to their outpost. You can go and you can steal their treasure and sell that, and so it has that really great pirate feeling. And that's the one thing I really, really like about this game. I became like a big kind of Pirates fan ever since Black Flag. And coincidentally, Assassin's Creed Rogue went to there's a remaster now on PS4 and Xbox One that I also picked up this week because I just like that kind of gameplay style. Anyway, or there's times where you actually might find some friendly people, especially if you're by yourself and you're on a little schooner. I found, some people will stop and they might play their little instruments with you, and you could share a drink with them and have a good time if they're not always out killing you. But I mean, you're a pirate. It's kind of your job to do that kind of thing. So one fun little thing I did, I was being a real jerk. I was helping this guy out.
Aw.
I was playing the accordion, so he thought I was all friendly and everything. And I found out I saw him digging up a treasure from where he was. And there's some skeletons came, so I hurried up and I got my sword out and I slashed at the skeletons and killed them off. And then as soon as he dug up his treasure, I shot him dead and stole his treasure and put it back on my scooter.
How could you do that?
He could do that because he's
like
you're a pirate. You're a pirate. That's what you got to do.
They're supposed to have camaraderie. They're supposed to get along and kill the law enforcement. Kill the government.
Yeah, I was just being a total jerk just for the fun of it, just for that one instance. They did the same thing to me. There was a whole group of them came onto an island, and I tried to be friendly with them, and they just do this mercilessly.
Yeah, you want to know why? Probably because people like you are always shooting friendly people or something. I don't know. In any case, so are you having fun? That's really all I care about.
It's pretty fun. It's not. It has a lot of opportunity to be a lot better than it is right now. I'd say about a 6 or a 7, and it has the potential to be an 8 or a 9. But
would you say it's worth the $10 a month Game Pass?
Well, the Game Pass is worth the $10 a month regardless, because there's just a ton of 360 games on there. There's a ton of Xbox One games on there. Like for some reason, Forza's not on there, but like Halo 5 and Gears of War and like Super Lucky's Tale that I hadn't quite finished yet. But you got a lot of 360 titles, including some Sonic games. Bayonetta is on there. But massive bunch of others. So Game Pass is way worth it, especially when you compare it to PlayStation 4's so-called PS3 backwards compatibility, where you're streaming the games, and that never works good for me, even with my strong signal.
I recently found out that my average connection is 70 Mbps now, so maybe try something like that.
Xbox One S, it's over 60 MPS for a good chunk of the time, which is fantastic. I mean, my PSN is slow as molasses in comparison.
Oh, right. I forgot that PlayStations just have a shitty connection for some reason.
Yeah, they're really, really bad about that.
Oh, well, I guess I won't bother with
it. Yeah, so what have you guys been playing?
Alex, why don't you take next?
Okay, well, I'm going to talk about two things. The first thing I guess I'll talk about is the Mattel Electronics Auto Race Portable. Now, this is the very first electronic portable gaming device of all that was ever produced, and it's an incredibly simplistic game. I picked it up while I was up in my old childhood town, Spotsylvania, Virginia.
I just realized I don't have my headphones on this entire time.
There's this great retro game store / comic book store called Game Haven Sage Mantis. If you're ever up in the Spotsylvania area and you want to check out some retro games, check them out. But so this thing, it's an interesting little device. Basically, your car, the car is like this little piece of plastic at the bottom that you can't quite see in that picture there, and you can the car is represented on this little screen as a red dot, and you move the little plastic car on the bottom to move the red dot, and there's just there's two goals. One, avoid the other little red dots, which represent traffic, and two, get to the end of the track. Get to the end of the track 4 times, and you beat the game. And there's these little gear shifts that affect how fast you go. And the faster you go, of course, the more difficult it is. And generally, I find I can do up to Gear 3. Gear 4 is just impossible because your little red dot just starts blasting up the screen. And like, one of the big issue with this game is that the docks they can move so quickly that can be really hard to keep track of them because they're literally just these little light bulbs, these little red light bulbs, and so it's not like a traditional racing game where you have an actual sprite or an actual screen scrolling down that you can keep track of because they blink in and out of existence as they move. So it's not an especially fun game, but I find it interesting for its historic significance, and it was pretty cheap. It was like $10. So, not something I'd recommend checking out, but I don't know, if you ever have a chance to play it, give it a go, and you'll see how far portable gaming has come since then, because, man, the Switch just blows this thing out of the water.
I actually had to look at a video of this because I wasn't exactly sure what you were describing at first. And I assumed this little device actually hooked up to a TV. This is kind of close to like a little Tiger Electronics thing. You can barely see
it. Was basically It was basically the precursor to that.
Yeah, there's
even Tiger Electronics is more advanced than this.
On the right, there's just a number and then some dots like you described, just red dots that move down and
a slightly larger red dot that is your car. And sometimes the car will just disappear. Yeah. I admire them for developing something like this back in, I think it was 1975, if I remember correctly. Because it's inventive for the era, but just wasn't especially good.
1977, actually.
Oh, wow! I thought it was a bit older than that. Huh. All right. Well, thanks for correcting me.
That's all right. I just have the Wikipedia up.
I'm watching video of it. It's insane.
It was considered expensive at the time at $24.99 retail.
Well, I think in today's money that would be like $70.
Probably.
So yeah, that would be pretty expensive, I guess. I think the Atari, if I remember correctly, was like 100, maybe 150 at the time. I mean, Jason would know this better than I am because he actually lived in that era.
I was a child in the late 70s.
Really, a child.
2600 launched in 1977 at $199, and that's $1977.
All right. So anyway, the other thing I want to talk about is back in December, this Kickstarter. I invested in this little Kickstarter from this company called Retro Fighter, I believe, and they were kickstarting this thing that I have been wanting ever since for a very long time. Ever since I first got my Nintendo 64 in 2002, they kickstarted a good Nintendo 64 controller. And I got it in the mail a couple weeks ago, and my God, it just completely changes this game console for me. I didn't really have access to a Nintendo 64 back when it was relevant. So, by the time I managed to get my hands on Nintendo 64, I'd already experienced better controllers. I never had to deal with...
Oh, you both got one, eh?
The really awkward joystick in the middle of the goddamn thing. So, I had the PlayStation, I had the Dreamcast, GameCube, etc. And so the controller has always been a huge barrier for me when it comes to enjoying the Nintendo 64. Especially since for a long time I held it by holding the handlebars on both sides and just stretching my thumb down to use the analog stick. That's how I played in Big Star Fox 64, which is like one of the only Nintendo 64 games I've really played extensively.
You do know that you hold that controller.
I'm aware of that. I'm aware of that now, but it's still awkward and not very comfortable. And not to mention the analog joystick is the worst one I've had to experience on a modern gaming on a post Atari 5200 gaming console.
I don't know. I still think it beats the Saturns.
Oh, it doesn't come close to the Saturn. The Saturn, you hold
beats
like
the
a
Saturn
proper.
by a long shot.
It
The
doesn't.
Saturn's-
It doesn't come close. The Saturn is is big, but still comfortable to hold, and the analog stick is way better. But regardless,
I'm
we're
a
gonna
GX
get
on that
off
one.
track. But regardless, I've been playing Nintendo 64 games whenever I can for like the past week, and
I'll be right back. I gotta use
for
this.
for the first time in forever, I can actually like enjoy Nintendo 64 games because it's comfortable to play them. I've gotten to play Rogue Squadron, a game I haven't really been able to play since I broke my copy for the PC. I've been able to play a bit of James Bond, which GoldenEye, which hasn't aged well, but I mean that's not surprising. I've gotten to play Banjo and Kazooie. I'm finally enjoying this thing. It's wonderful. It's all thanks to this controller. Like, when it comes to the controller itself, few people have been able to kind of point out some issues with it. Like, with the analog stick, it can kind of rub up against the left bumper a bit, but doesn't actually affect gameplay at all. And mine doesn't even do it, but I know others can. But the buttons, they're all the right size, they're all the right shape. What?
I said that was one of the things that was brought up on their Kickstarter, that if for any future versions of it, they will make sure that that is resolved, and they are looking into the possibility of kind of just remanufacturing some of the parts that it possibly that you could just have them replaced yourself, like just a slightly different button or something.
I have like two kind of moderate issues with this thing, and they're minor. The first thing is that the D-pad ain't the best. It's not the worst, but it ain't the best. It is.
I cannot hear Alex at any point. I'm hoping he can hear me so that he realizes something is up. I'm testing my own microphone, and it looks like my audio's up. I'm testing desktop audio. I think it's fine. Alex, I don't know what's going on, but your audio's gone, and Jason is gone. So I'm going to fill time for a little bit while we try to establish this so that our 0 viewers will not go away. So I unfortunately did not have much time to play much in the way of games this week. The reality of the situation is I've just been exceptionally busy, but I actually got to... There goes Alex, out of the call. I actually participated in Nintendo World Report, specifically the Talk Nintendo podcast game evening special thing. So I got to enjoy that, play a little bit of Splatoon, actually hosted some Jackbox, and really enjoyed a bit of that for the evening. But, hey, I actually got a shout-out on there, so I haven't gotten much else that I've been able to play the last week or so. However, I was able to get this, which I am still in the process of opening, which is the Detective Pikachu freaking massive amiibo. Like, the only amiibo that I can think of that is literally bigger than this is the Mega Yarn Yoshi. And it's just kind of absurd. Let me reference it to a soda bottle. Like, that's about how tall this thing is. The downside is, I can't play the game for it yet because my 3DS has been whisked off to Japan so that I can get it modded for streaming purposes.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yes.
Sweet.
I sent it out a couple weeks ago. According to tracking, it's already out there, but it's going to work well with some future streaming projects.
Huh.
Nice.
I'd heard of a 3DS video capture mod before. I didn't think that you had to send it out to Japan for that, though. I thought there were local places.
The only reliably recommended local place I've found only has the stuff available to do it for the original Model 3DS, and I'm getting my new 2DS XL converted.
Oh, okay. All right, that makes more sense.
So that's honestly it for me. I've got nothing else going on.
I forgot to mention one thing. It's very quick, but so WiiWare is dying in a couple of days, specifically 4 p.m. Eastern time on Monday. You can't add eShop points to it anymore. And so I added a bunch of eShop points. I've started buying some things. And one of the games I bought is a game from Yuji Naka, one of the only games published by Sega on WiiWare, called Lex Cash.
Good old Pope.
I really wanted to be able to talk about it on Sonic Talk to honor WiiWare's impending doom, but unfortunately, I didn't get to it. But I'm just going to say a couple of things. It's a game about throwing a ball and catching it, as far as I know.
It's a weird one.
It's a very simplistic game, and apparently it has a dramatic story mode.
Oh yes, like I said, that is a weird game. That is a very weird game. That is kind of a short story wrapped around just the mechanic of just throwing balls back and forth. It's not really even about throwing and catching. It's about the stuff that happens around that and the weird.
It's about the bond of a father and son.
Sure.
Well, I'm going to be talking about this game on the next Sonic Talk, but I'm just letting people know now, if you want it, you want this weird, quirky game from the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog, you better put, I think it's 1,000 Wii points or $10 worth of Wii points.
$10.
$10 on the Wii shop probably when this goes up within the next day or so. To get it. I'm going to be talking about it next time, but just so you know. And now I'm done.
All right, let's get into the Sonic news this month. SXSW happened in
South by
Southwest.
I don't know why I had to initial that for some stupid reason.
This is the third Sonic panel in a row there.
Yep, third Sonic panel. They added a lot of big news broke out. One of the main ones is Sonic Mania Plus has been announced.
Woo!
Right. And for this, can you guys hear me, by the way?
I can hear you.
We can hear you.
I can't hear myself. It's weird.
That's fine.
Okay. Anyway, so for this one, they're finally doing a physical release of Sonic Mania. It's coming out in the summer of this year. It has a 32-page art book. It'll include an encore mode and a 4-player competition mode.
But no one cares about any of that.
The big thing is something I have actually physically asked Takashi Iizuka to his face.
Something I've been wanting for
every time every time we had an interview with him, we'd ask him, "Hey, any chance of bringing back Mighty and Ray in some game?" And it's happening. Mighty and Ray are going to be playable in Sonic Mania, and that is just awesome. The first time,
Better Tales.
Ray is here for the first time since Sega Sonic Arcade way back in the day, and it's Mighty's first since Knuckles Chaotix. And for most people, they have never played either of them in a game before, probably.
Unless they own Knuckles Chaotix, like I do.
Mighty has had a day for a bit, but Ray is one of those really weird, obscure characters because the arcade game never actually got a re-release in any format except MAME.
And that's because it utilizes a trackball. I actually own the freaking PCB, and I haven't been able to find someone to install it in something so I can play it. It's so freaking annoying.
I tried it on main, but I could only play with a D-pad, and it's pretty much almost impossible to play on the
which
D-pad.
I imagine
dying left and right.
I imagine that's why they haven't ported it, because like
It was
you need a
actually-
Well, with an analog stick, it would work. I could see it working with an analog stick
It was
because
actually,
it's basically a diagram, so you could just go like this way or this way.
Yeah, Chris.
it was
Sorry.
actually considered for Gems Collection, but they could not get over the lack of trackball.
Now, what I find really interesting about all this is that Mighty actually has been playable in 2D before, so like we have a basic idea of his moveset. We know that he can like cling to walls and jump up them. But Ray the Squirrel has never actually been playable in a 2D game before. And like I imagine
Ray's presence has only been in the Archie comics and nothing else.
I imagine that they'll probably exploit his gliding ability or something like that, but
Well, he's a flying squirrel, they'll just be tails. They'll be tails. So he basically playing like tails.
Knuckles glides, Tails flies, so maybe he'll like be a mix of the two. But I'm like they can actually do something potentially really interesting with Ray's moveset, so I'm looking forward to it. I'm also wondering if they're going to keep any of Mighty's wall clinging moves from Knuckles Chaotix.
Maybe. Okay, I got a question for you guys. Since this is going to be a physical release with that art book and everything, are you guys going to double dip and buy it again?
Probably not.
It depends on how much this upgrade is going to cost digital. Like if it's going to be, if at some point it's just going to be,
I think it's free. I think it's going to be free digital. Probably
they haven't said that.
It's not like $10 at the most.
Well, if it's $10, well, no. I guess if it's $10, it's still $20 cheaper than buying the physical release. I don't know. Like, I'm not big on physical for modern games. The art book makes it tempting.
Yeah, when the cover, I should also mention, it's a lenticular 3D cover.
And the cover
physical release, and it's reversible to make it look like a Sega Genesis.
But by and large, it's just hard for me to really justify, especially since I know a year from now I'll probably be able to get this same game for like half the price physically if I really want to. But
I'll be honest, I'm weak, and I'll probably get it for like Xbox One, which is the only system I don't have Sonic Mania on outside of PC.
Well, good. You can tell us how it is.
According to Polygon, Sonic Mania Plus will retail $29.99, arriving in summer. There will be a digital update for the original game released at the same time, though pricing for that upgrade will be announced later.
Yeah.
So if you take that in the most literal way, it sounds like it may be a paid update.
I'm wondering what the heck Encore mode is. Like,
you guys are cutting off a bit for me. I couldn't hear any of what she just said. It just kept.
Oh, seriously?
Clicking out. Yeah. GX especially is I can't hear. I can hear you. I just can't hear GX right now.
Oh, cripes. Chris?
It's fine. I'm here.
Good, because I already got kicked off this
Okay, yeah, I was hearing a lot of cutting off.
You're fine. My audio is. It doesn't matter if my audio gets lost. If my audio gets lost, because my audio is locally recorded.
Yeah, but still matters for me. Because if I get cut off, then man.
No, it's doing it to both of you. Oh boy.
Then that's probably your connection, Jason.
Okay, well,
quit worrying about it.
Yeah. So Encore mode. Any theories? I have some ideas, but you guys go first.
Could potentially be a boss rush style mode. It could be just remixes on certain levels. It could be a mission based mode. Like, there's a lot of different ways that they could take it. I don't have any.
I was thinking remixed levels, like maybe new level designs utilizing new level designs are just the levels, but maybe they're made more difficult or something with additional traps and spikes and enemies and stuff. Probably shouldn't expect too much from this, but I don't know. I'm hoping for more of a level remix than just a hard mode. Yeah.
Right. Anyway, well, since we're on Sonic Mania, we should mention that there's going to be 5 Sonic Mania animated shorts.
Yes, and
starting very soon and spread out through the rest of the year. Done with Tyson Hesse's animation style. If it's not Tyson Hesse himself, I'm not sure.
Tyson Hesse.
Hess. I always see that.
He doesn't know why people say that, but gotta stop. Hess. So yeah, they showed a 35-second teaser of this. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it is nice looking. Like it's still got kind of a bit of a web animation cheapness to it, but like for the budget this thing probably has, this thing looks pretty damn good in my opinion.
It looks on par with the actual animated intro of the game, which was pretty solid.
Yeah, I love the colors in this, especially. I'm hoping that maybe they'll do even more with this. Like I don't know, maybe give us a second season or something. But I'm looking forward to that Knuckles episode, guys. They're devoting a whole episode to it. So, Jason, thoughts?
Okay, today is the day of losing people on calls.
Okay, well, I guess when Jason.
Okay, I'm sorry I have to do this, but I'm having a real bad communication problem, so I'm going to leave the call. You'll have to edit this out, I guess.
Jason,
I'll have to leave the call, and
just do it. Come on. All right. So, do you want to just move on to Sonic R? Or do you want to wait for him?
Works for me.
Which one works for you?
We're moving on to Sonic R.
All right. So it's not. So moving on to. It's not actually called this, but Sonic R, because all they revealed with a freaking logo was one letter, and it's the R from Sonic R, even though it's apparently not a sequel to anything. So, given what Aaron said, given the fact that it's pretty obviously a racing game with cars, going by the teaser, it looks like that all those rumors of a Sonic racing game focused swirling on Sonic characters is happening.
I mean, it was the worst kept secret. It's just, I'm kind of to the point where
sorry,
I'm sort of over this whole we're just gonna tease something in the most abstracted way possible. It's like everyone knows it's going to be a racing game. Everyone knows that word is racing. Why?
I don't understand Sega's marketing these days.
I've never understood Sega's marketing, except to the point where they want to differentiate themselves from Nintendo in the mid to early 90s. Like, beyond that, who the hell knows? I don't know.
I mean, like, it's probably going to be called Sonic Racing or Sonic and Friends Racing. But we know it's going to be...
I can almost guarantee you it's Super Sonic Racing. I'm telling you right now. I can almost guarantee.
Didn't Aaron say that it was not super... Well, then again, he said that the racing game wasn't being made, so we can't trust what he said. But I think he said it wasn't Super Sonic Racing. I mean, I guess there's really not much to say on this, aside from what characters do you guys want? Because we know this is only Sonic characters, so... You know, they better not give us anything like Baby Sonic and Golden Sonic and all that Mario Kart 8 crap.
Hey,
I want them to actually use
you respect
the characters.
Pink Gold Peach.
I will
the
not.
Most important character in Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe.
Nor will I respect Baby Rosalina or Baby Daisy or even Baby Mario or Silver Mario. Give me actual characters. I mean, personally, I'm hoping that they do go at least a little bit obscure. Mighty and Ray would be awesome, but I'll settle for just the Chaotix.
By the way, guys, I had to cut off Twitch completely in order to be able to hear you guys. Now I can hear you fine. I just had to leave the website.
So we're talking about the Sonic racing game. What characters?
Yeah, I heard you guys up to a point. Yeah.
Well, what characters do you want to see?
Oh, God, well, if it's opened up this much, you know, I want to see Blaze the Cat, Eggman, of course, Silver. A lot of people don't like Silver, but I think Silver's all right.
Yeah, he's my picture right now, so you better like him.
Not anymore, he isn't.
Anyway, And of course, like you're saying, obscure characters like Mighty and Ray. If you want more obscure, you could do Heavy and Bomb.
Oh, they are definitely not doing Heavy and Bomb. No one's asking for them to come back.
I want
Team
Goku.
Hooligan would be great.
I want Gino. I want Ridley to be playable. I want all the characters from Earthbound.
Okay, those are great options for Mario Kart. We're talking about something better. We're talking about Sonic racing.
I
think we were talking went into Smash Brothers territory.
There's not. I don't know. It's too early to even speculate on this from the perspective that what is this game? There are cars, I guess.
It's a racing game.
Realistic looking cars.
That's all we need to know.
Surprising.
Who's making it? Is it Sumo Digital?
Hopefully Sumo Digital.
Is it Sega Internal?
I hope it's Sumo Digital.
Isn't there rumors that it's Sumo Digital?
I don't know. Aren't they still working on Crackdown 3, or did that game actually get released?
It never got released, though.
Well, they're still working on it, but...
It's close to being released, though.
They can handle more than one game at a time, I believe. They do have multiple teams. But,
don't get me wrong. Like, I certainly have character preferences, but admittedly, the character choices in modern Sonic are pretty set into stone as to who they are, and I don't necessarily think that this racing game is going to be the magical comeback for Honey the Cat, or Knack the Weasel, or your other favorite classic character that hasn't been in a game for years.
Let's keep in mind that Sumo Digital, if they are indeed developing this, they do go pretty freaking obscure.
They're also limited.
I can almost guarantee you we'll see Wendy Witch Cart and they're riding around in a little cart.
Oh,
how much would you like to place on that wager?
None.
Yeah, that's exactly how confident you are in that.
I would bet negative money. I would. No.
Sorry, we only work in positive money and/or cryptocurrency.
Like, if she's in it, I'd owe you money. That's what I'd wager. But do we hope that they keep the Transformers gimmick from the Transform series, even though technically it's not the Sega All Stars anymore?
If they're not calling it that, then I highly doubt that it's going to be that.
I just want it to be a good game. I don't care about the way.
Yeah, so do I. But I did love the transforming mechanics, so it would be a shame to lose it as far as I'm concerned.
There, you got another picture for that crack about negative money. Congratulations.
Well, I can't see it yet, but I assume it'll pop up on my Twitch feed any second now.
Yeah.
So, are we done talking about this game?
Well, since we're still on South by Southwest news, we should mention Puma is now in partnership with Sega for a limited time supply of Sonic shoes.
Oh,
they're called the Puma X Sega RS0 Sonic. So far, this is another thing where they're not really showing you what it is, which is odd.
Why would you tease shoes?
They're shoes. Just show the shoes.
They did show the shoes.
What? No, they're all pixelated out, so you can't see.
I thought that was the actual design of them.
Oh, no, they're pixelated out on purpose, so you can't see the paint job on the shoes.
That's really stupid.
It is.
I don't know. Like, I would guess that maybe Sega wasn't able to reveal certain things, or maybe this was their way of getting around it. Otherwise, this is just really stupid way of teasing things. So I guess we're done with SSXW news. Yeah,
right. So let's get on to other discussions.
Mega Drive.
Yes, Mega Drive Genesis Collection will be coming out for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One this May. For some crazy reason, there's no Switch version, even though they're Genesis games. I don't know why that is.
It could come out later. It might just be what they have prepared. Like, this honestly looks like just a console port of what they've already done to their PC Genesis games. Like it's the same games that are currently available on Steam. It looks like the same interface. It just seems like it's a port of all that to consoles.
Yeah, except for some reason there's no Sonic 3 and Knuckles out of all the Sonic games that are featured on it.
For whatever reason, they never put those games in any of their compilations. Now, I do got a theory, and at this point, I admit it's a theory that is really, really grasping.
Is this a theory that I'm going to have to give you another pink gold peach for?
You know what? I don't care. Cover me and irrelevant, stupid Mario Kart characters.
If you insist.
But I insist. Do it. End my misery. Anyway, maybe this isn't being brought to the Switch because maybe the Virtual Console is still a thing. Well, is this something you would totally cover me in irrelevant Mario Kart characters for?
I was honestly thinking the same thing.
I mean, that's why the Wii. That's why the original
Wii. Stupid excuse, but still
collections. Because like they've been releasing Sega Genesis collections. They've been releasing Sega Genesis collections like since the PSP and PlayStation 3. This isn't anything new, but the Wii never got any of that stuff. Presumably because Sega saw more profit in the Virtual Console game. So hopefully that's the reason. Crossing my fingers. Although this will be more expensive, so I guess that would be a negative part of this.
My biggest concern with that theory is that we don't know any Virtual Console plans right now, and on top of that, Hamster Games have still been releasing their arcade archives for a year now at this point, and I kind of question if Nintendo is actually
but those are mostly
specialize in is actually going to say, hey, all of this stuff is still going to fall under the Virtual Console banner, because if the arcade archives aren't, then why is everyone else's stuff going to be? Plus, we don't know what they're marketing or how they're actually going to present Virtual Console as a business strategy. Is it going to be a subscription model attached to their online service? Is it going to be their, like, what everyone thinks of these Netflix of Virtual Console? Are they going to do some that and then some just sell? I can't confidently say that until I actually know what we're looking at for the Virtual Console.
Well, we may not even be getting a Virtual Console.
We're getting something. They've announced something.
I will say the arcade archives that you're talking about that the Hamster guys are doing seems to be mostly focused on Neo Geo ports and Nintendo arcade ports, but not like NES.
Something to keep in mind is that on the Wii, arcade was kind of treated as something of a separate category of the Virtual Console. It didn't really come until much later. Of course, the Neo Geo did get Virtual Console representation proper, but it could be that Nintendo is just differentiating between arcade and console stuff, like just leaving arcade stuff out of the Virtual Console altogether this time.
Like I said, we have some idea of a plans of what they're going to do. It's just we don't know yet.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, either this Sega Genesis thing is coming later, or maybe it's Virtual Console. Hopefully, we'll actually find out by E3.
That would be very nice. That would be the place to actually say something.
I was expecting something back in January. Boy, that was wrong.
Yeah, now they've been delaying it. Anyway, we got some WonderCon news. Ian Flynn will be at the IDW Sonic's WonderCon panel this Sunday.
Awesome.
I'll be there to live vlog it, which by the time you watch this podcast will have already happened, and I hope I did a good job out there. Yes, and then they're going to be releasing Sonic #1 with an exclusive cover at the IDW booth.
Lucky bastard.
Like I said, I'll be there this weekend. Yeah. I originally was just going to do Sunday for $20, but then my brother and his sister-in-law got a booth there. They do genre jewelry, and she does these fancy antler things. So they got an exhibitor, so I'm going to be helping them out, and I got an exhibitor pass for the weekend. So, yeah, I mean, I'll be seeing Ian and the other guys there. Hope you guys have. If you guys have gone down there last weekend, I hope you guys had a great time. Anyway, as far as what they're going to discuss in that, besides issue number 1 and what's going on in the future, I'm not sure any other news. The only thing I know about from Ian's interviews is lately they found out he's going to be covering the Sega Sonic as the Two Worlds storyline, which is basically, I guess, how the video game canon is that there's 2 Sonic worlds. There's the Green Hill Zone, kind of goofy Sonic world, and then there's the realistic world with the humans.
The human world.
Which is what Adventure and Sonic Unleashed and that is based on. It's kind of, I guess, what the Japanese Sonic X, anime is based on that as well.
Let's not pretend anything's based on that.
Very loosely.
You're going too far with that recommendation.
I mean,
from what I hear, this whole Two Worlds theory has actually been around for a long, long time with Sega. That this has been their canon for a while.
Good job bringing that up in the games, by the way.
Who cares?
Why not have all this Two Worlds theory and just not mention it because it makes everything look really stupid.
Regarding what's going to be at the IDW panel, I'd like to remind everyone that at the last IDW panel, it was literally a Q&A done before they did any announcements where they basically didn't answer any questions. So we might not want to get our hopes up too much here, but then again, it's coming out imminently, so hopefully they'll give us something.
Well, you'll know some information by the time this podcast airs. I mean, I'm probably going to be a week behind on this, so whatever news is out there, you'll know about it by now. Anyway, oh my God, I'm watching the stream on the Xbox One with the
so I'm covered in horrible Mario Kart characters and one awesome Donkey Kong character. In fact, he may be one of the best Donkey Kong characters.
Covered in funky peaches.
Yeah, Funky
anyway,
Kong, the best Kong.
I got a little review for you guys. We got Ultimate Sonic action figure from Tomy. You can find it easily at pretty much any GameStop right now for $30. It's similar to the Japanese Neo Droid. Is that the right term? Neo Droid or Nendroid? A Sonic figure. He's fully customizable, as you can see. He's got total articulation. Every part of his body. He's got a little thing that can.
Oh, hey, the best Star Fox character.
Yeah, and one cool thing. Let me set him down here and do this little thing here. Is he's got interchangeable faces and hands. So, just for an example, I'll do his little death surprise look that he gets.
Death surprise.
Just about to fall. Let's see, where's that now? At least similar to it. We don't have quite the eyes for this, but he's got there.
I'm like 10 seconds behind, but I assume I'll see.
It's a good thing this is not an audio podcast because this is. Yeah, well,
if it were an audio podcast, you'd have to describe what's going on right now instead of just
basically. Well, we're not.
Classic noises.
Well, luckily, we're not an audio podcast, or else this would be incredibly boring for people right now. Which I'm sure it's kind of boring for you guys right now.
I don't know. I'm having fun.
Yeah, now he's putting the best Zelda character on top of me.
He's got little hands here. I could show you examples of the different faces in a second.
Hey, Chris, give me Big the Cat.
Okay, I'll get you Big the Cat.
Oh, you're taking requests, but probably only bad.
Yeah, there you go. He hits a spike, boom. If that goes down. And basically, it's very articulate. You got a million, well, not a million. Oh God, you got quite a few expressions. You got different hand gestures. He's got his little finger up here. A little chili dog that you can actually
Really? It has a
have
chili
whole
dog.
Yep, chili dog and a ring, a power ring. And now I almost lost the chili dog.
Which is funny because they never really made that a thing until Black Knight.
Until the it was so popular with the American comics, I guess, and the American culture did it. But see, there's some more faces here.
They usually ignore what happens in the American stuff, don't they? So that's why, I guess Eggman and Robotnik were both acknowledged, at least in Sonic Adventure.
And a little laugh. Yeah, anyway, this is pretty much the best Sonic figure I think I've purchased. I think it's even much better than the Neo Droid one. It's quite a bit larger than the Neo Droid, at least double.
You know, I thought we were still releasing an audio-only version of this podcast.
Maybe sometime in the future. Right now, it's still on video.
Huh. Well, I guess people can just put on the YouTube video and listen to it.
Peaches for me. Millions of peaches. Peaches for free.
Why are you singing that song?
Because you've got millions of peaches on your face.
Excuse me, sir.
Okay,
that is
those aren't
Baby
peaches.
Rosalina.
That's Baby
You
Rosalina.
show
Oh,
respect.
God. One of the bad Mario Kart characters.
One of the greatest Mario Kart characters.
Why would they include 50,000 baby characters when they could include frigging Mallow? And, I guess
number one, because they don't own Mallow outright. And number two,
Why is there a
baby
baby
character?
Come to think of it, why is there a Baby Rosalina?
I thought they had Mallow.
That
They
character
didn't
was
have
never
Gina.
ever featured in a Yoshi game.
Okay.
There's also Baby Daisy.
Well, I'm trying to think. I know there are Mario characters that are missing from Mario Kart in favor of these freaking babies and gold things. But I can't think of them right now.
I was gonna title the episode "Covered in Peaches." Now I gotta think of something else.
I guess covered in Rosalinas. I don't know.
Anyway, that's gonna be it for us. Thank you for joining, everyone. It's a little bit of a short one, which is good because I just realized if I'm going to WonderCon this weekend, I'm doing some grocery shopping now because I won't be able to tomorrow. Anyway, thanks again for joining us. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you enjoy this new video format we're doing where you can actually see our faces on there.
Chances are you're probably not, but I sure am.
And we'll see you later. Thank you very much.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Peace.